Pines of Rome, written by Ottorino Respighi in 1924. The piece is comprised of 4 movements, each inspired by the pine trees standing in various Roman sites. This final movement depicts a legion of victorious Roman soldiers marching down the Appian Way, returning to Rome after battle. It's about as triumphant as classical music gets, but when viewed in the context of Italy in the 1920s, some sinister undertones rise to the surface. In the early 1920s, fascism was on the rise in Europe, particularly in Italy. 2 years before Respighi wrote Pines of Rome, tens of thousands of fascists participated in the March on Rome, a mass protest demanding that Benito Mussolini be put into power. King Victor Emmanuel III acquiesced, and Mussolini was named prime minister, beginning his over 20-year-long dictatorship. The March on Rome was the precipitating moment of Mussolini's rise to power, and the symbolic power of the Roman Empire was certainly not lost on his fascist regime. The fascists of the 1920s and 30s were quick to draw parallels to ancient Rome. The Italian Terza Roma, or Third Rome, drew a direct line of succession from the Roman Empire to Mussolini's fascist government. The Roman salute was adopted by both the Italian and German fascist governments, and the Nazi eagle standard was derived directly from the Roman eagle standard. Beyond that, fascists took a particular interest in hypernationalist art, particularly in classical music. With all this in mind, the connection between Respighi's Pines of Rome with this ending that literally depicts a march on Rome and fascism seem almost obvious. In fact, Respighi was Mussolini's favorite composer. But it's not that simple. Respighi was staunchly apolitical. While other composers actively courted political favors from the fascist government, Respighi actively avoided any sort of political engagement, either for or against fascism. He never joined the fascist party, but he was a member of the openly fascist Italian Academy. When he was offered the opportunity to meet Mussolini, he declined the invitation, not for political reasons, but because he found Mussolini intimidating. So what do we make of Pines of Rome? There's no evidence that Respighi wrote this piece as fascist propaganda. He came up with the idea for the piece 10 years prior, the year before the Italian Fascist Party was founded. Still, it's clear this hyper-nationalist Italian spirit was hovering in the air as he composed. Respighi wasn't a fascist propaganda spewer or a freedom fighter. He was caught in the middle. But once the score for Pines of Rome left his hands, there was enough subtext there that it could be easily co-opted for fascist use. Some say this was actually Mussolini's favorite piece of music. In some ways, that story of Respighi declining to meet with Mussolini sums it all up. Respighi didn't actively engage with fascists, but fascists actively engaged with his music. So can we let Respighi off the hook? Well, it's hard to say. It's unfortunate when works of art are co-opted by hateful ideologies as propaganda, but it forces us to look at why those specific works of art were chosen. Even if the composer didn't try to promote an ideology in their music, it often doesn't take much work to find one. Respighi may not have intended to write a fascist piece, but Mussolini heard one, loud and clear.